Hi, welcome to another episode of The Lab with Good Cube Kitchen. I'm your host, Yassine Butler, and today we're going to jump off the beaten path. I know that most of these episodes have been something savory, but today I want to do something sweet. It is the first episode in October, and a lot of people really enjoy Halloween. This Halloween is going to be a little bit different. There's not going to be trick or treating, and there's probably not going to be a whole lot of parties. And so I thought maybe let's do some things that will bring the party to you. So today we're going to work on something that I haven't had in years: candy apples. I absolutely love caramel apples. I actually think I lost a tooth in one once. Hmm. Anyway, so we're going to start this off. I'm going to go with caramel apples instead of the red candied ones because I just think caramel apples taste better and I'm excited to make them. You know, I've been on a kick to really master caramel, and this is going to be another attempt at that. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do, you want to get your apples clean. So bring a pot of water to a boil, and you're going to give your apples a nice dip. Part of the reason you want to do this is most of the times, unless you're getting it from like a farmer's market, your apple is going to be coated in some sort of wax to keep it from going bad. So after you take it out of the water, you want to give it a nice thorough rub to get any excess wax that did not sit on the surface of the water. now that our apples are all nice and clean, sterilized, and we've got some of that wax off, it's time to make our candy. Next thing that we need to do is make our caramel. So I want to turn this on to high heat just because it takes a while to heat up. And we're going to combine 1 stick of butter. It can be cold, but I started from softened just because I had some softened butter on hand. Next, add over 1 packed cup of dark brown sugar. The dark brown sugar is really important because molasses and butter taste really great together. The next thing we're going to add over is our corn syrup, and you're going to add about 4 ounces of the corn syrup. You want to use light corn syrup because light corn syrup will set up really well. The last ingredient that we need to add is about 7 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. The combination of the corn syrup and the sweetened condensed milk give the caramel a good structure, as well as the beautiful sheen that you'll see at the end. Want to make sure that you get it all in there. Making candy is very much a science, so you want to be pretty precise with your measurements. Caramel is pretty forgiving, but be as close as possible. Now that everything's in the pot, you want to give it a nice thorough stir to combine all of your ingredients together. You want to do this pretty quickly before the heat starts to form lumps in the brown sugar. During the boiling process, all of the lumps will come out, but if you don't do it in the beginning, sometimes they don't work out as well as you want them to. I've gotten about as far as I can get with my red spatula, so now I'm going to switch to my whisk, and I'm going to whisk the ingredients together, attempting to get a nice smooth consistency. While our caramel is coming up, I'm going to start inserting the chopsticks into the apples. They can be a little tough, but you want to keep fighting. You want to get at least 1.5 to 2 inches inside of the apple. Now that it's starting to come to a boil, I'm going to put in my candy thermometer. It's something I never do when making candy, but I should definitely start doing. It was a much better process. So once your candy comes up to between 245 and 248 degrees or 120 degrees Celsius, you know that it's about done. That's called the firm stage in candy. This process took about 20 minutes in total to finally get to where you want it to be. Now that it has reached temperature, I'm going to reduce the heat and lose the footage of everything that happens next. One thing you want to do that I found out earlier in my failed attempt is you want to let your caramel cool a little bit. The recipe that I read said to do this while it was hot, but that didn't work out very well for me. Allowing the caramel to cool some gave it a much better chance of everything sticking. Look how shiny that is. Another thing that I found is spinning it really to be important in the process. I'm going to give it another dip. Now that it's fully covered, I'm going to let it spin like this. Centrifugal force allows it to evenly distribute. The caramel comes down really nicely. You get a wonderful coating. So now that it is well coated, I'm going to coat it with my toppings. Ooh, that was a fail. Going to roll it. And there you have it, a caramel apple. This process is really simple, and it can be kind of fun, kind of messy. It's something great that you can do with the kids or do with a significant other. Makes a great date night. But it's just a lot of fun and really, really delicious. This is probably the best example of caramel that I have made, and so I'm really excited to see and push the limits of this recipe. Um, but with all of that said, let us always remember to thank the good Lord for good food and good times. All that good is Good Cubed. Please follow me on all social media platforms at Good Cubed Kitchen. That's GOODCUB3D on all social media platforms. And as always, have a good one. Peace.